Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we got Alex, Jason, Randy, Kaitlyn, Corey, and Jaimen. Evan should be on shortly. I think he's at Prospect Dubs. The plan this week is to talk about Fools Fest AMs, New England Sea Pool Finals, and New York Team Challenge Final. When this podcast first started, it was very difficult to find things to talk about. That is not the case any longer. We've had so much stuff to talk about recently that we've fallen behind on a few things. Unfortunately, we probably won't get to most of that this week either. But I did want to mention a couple things before we get going. We had a couple new Patreon supporters. A couple weeks ago, Sean Dollard became a Patreon supporter. And this week, Jack Bradley became a supporter. Ooh. So thank you, guys.
Team CAC, we're back, baby.
Also, I played the Skylands Monthly at Buzzies a few weeks ago, and nobody's interested in hearing about my round. But I do like to point out every time I beat Brian Heller, so it's only fair that I mention that he did beat me at Buzzies. On a course I've never played with my car parked 10 feet from an active basket, but nice shooting, Brian.
Did it get hit?
No, I was amazed. I got there probably a little later. I didn't realize there was like a satellite parking spot. So I literally took the only spot left, and it was, like 10 feet from a basket. I was expecting at least a dent, hopefully not a cracked windshield, but I got neither. So
it's kind of like when I see people at, like, especially for the Mind Kill tournaments, that will park their vehicles near like the 18s green, like those parking spots over there. I'm like, Have you never played here before? Have you never shanked one in the parking lot? Why are you parking there?
Yeah, that is kind of risky, but actually, Corey, one of the things that we have been behind on was J-Dubs. I don't think we talked about week 2 or week 3 of J-Dubs points championships. Is there any kind of rundown you could do?
We're still full steam ahead on the season, still kind of waiting for the days to get longer so we can add in some of the longer layouts and like some safari-esque layouts, playing some more holes through 3 weeks. No one's hit the birdie bank or the ace pot, so those are building. And yeah, I've been doing a good job at getting rid of some of these donated or given up discs from the Lost and Found by offering a free CTP and a free random disc or a randomly selected participant to pick a disc for free. So I'm kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone on that one. But yeah, no, it's going good so far.
Nice. Any winners off the top of your head?
Muccelli's won like every single week, basically. Actually, it might have even been every single week. I don't have it up right now. But I think, through 3 weeks, he's won all 3 weeks. But a lot of golf left. So
what's the layout tomorrow?
We're going to play J South for week 4.
All right. Alex, you played in Fools Fest this weekend. How'd that go?
I did do Fools Fest. It was nice. I always enjoy playing FDR. I think I say it every time we talk about it, but I really enjoy that course. And they have done a ton of work to make things, nice out there. Weather going into the weekend was looking not great. Nothing's going to top the 78 and sunny that we had for Saturday last week, but we were looking at mid 40s, low 50s, and windy, and potentially some rain. So, I wasn't expecting to do as well as I did before, but, I was hoping to get a little bit of progress towards the AM Worlds invite.
What were the layouts?
Same deal for MA1, straight up whites both rounds. So I think some of the other divisions played other layouts, but for MA1, I just did the same thing I did for Pro last week. Unfortunately, I did not shoot as well as I did last week, which, some of that can go to the conditions, some of that can go to the fact that I did things like I had a 80-foot upshot on 17 and threw it 50 feet past the basket because I don't know. I don't know exactly what happened there, but, every once in a while you just screw something up. But yeah, to go through that first round, I played with Jack, Bradley, Rob Bennett, and Patrick something, blanking on his name. Nice guys, as you guys might expect.
Rowan? Patrick Rowan?
Easily could be. Rowan. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But yeah, super nice guys. Had a ton of fun playing with them. I was 2 down going into the last 4 holes, and I missed a short putt on 16 that really I had no business missing. I just hit it a little bit high and left because I rushed and it splashed out. Then took a par somewhere in the middle there, and then also bogeyed 17 and hole somewhere in there. So I was 1 down going into the last 4 holes and was 2 over going into round 2, which was a little bit disappointing, but that's how golf goes sometimes. So that round came in right around my rating, so can't really complain too much. although I know I can do better. Hung out in the car, stayed warm as much as possible. There wasn't really much rain, but there was plenty of wind in that first round. So I was hoping that it'd stick around like that, but unfortunately we did get some rain towards the beginning of the second rounds. Luckily it wasn't too bad. The only really bad stretch was for about a hole, maybe 2 holes towards the beginning of round 2, but it really wasn't too bad. Played with Derek Stoltenberg, Noah Polsky, and Steven Sederquist. Yeah, again, super nice guys. I didn't know these guys as well, but still super nice guys. I had a ton of fun playing with them. Didn't really have any issues with anybody. I know some of them had some struggles, especially early on, but I think everybody was kind of feeling that, maybe other than Leighton Brinster, who decided he wanted to shoot 10 down in round 1. So I think we figured out why he wasn't quite so happy with his round last week. It was because he knew he had a 10 down in him. But he unfortunately wasn't quite able to keep up with that, and Ethan Hatters jumped him to take the win overall. But I was able to hold pretty steady at another +1 rounds. This time, because of the rain, because the wind picked up a little bit, ratings ended up a little bit better, but +1 and then +1 to +2 overall got me to 11th place, tied for 11th with 5 other people, and 405 AM points towards my 2,000 point goal. So I'm feeling pretty dang good. 20% of the way there in one event. Let's see if I can keep it up.
And this was a B tier.
Yep. This was a B tier with, 64 AM players, which I don't expect all of the events I play to have quite so many. And I definitely don't expect to have the same level of experience that I do at FDR as, these the next few events that I'm going to be playing. But if I can, keep the rate up, then fingers crossed, should be well on my way.
You had said last week, if you had shot -3 last year, you would have been in top 5. Same as this year. You'd have been in top 5 if you got that.
Looks like it. Yeah. One highlight from round 2 is I finally got the Eagle on 12, which I had been chasing this week and last week. It's one I've gotten before, but this was the first one that I had before when I got it, it was like a 60-foot putt that I made. Mm-hmm. This time I was right even with that tree that's guarding the basket and had a nice 20, 25 footer to finish it out.
I was going to say, that's not an easy putt.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, but, I made it, and it was a putt that I felt like I should make as opposed to one that, it would be lucky to make.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Nice. You already mentioned the winners, but tournament director Adam Gutman, Chris Jardin, the assistant tournament director. That's all that played on Saturday, right? Was M1.
Yes, I believe so.
And then on Sunday was all other AMs. That was Adam Gutman, tournament director, Eric Bowers, assistant tournament director. Olivia Denson won the FJ18, girls junior under 18. MJ18, mixed junior under 18, was Charlie Hurd. MA4, mixed amateur 4, Derwin Velasquez won that by 4 strokes. FA3, women's amateur 3, Heather Asselmeyer won it by 3 strokes over Judy McGuire. MA3, mixed amateur 3, Trevor Lambert tied with Adam Parcells at -4. Looks like Trevor took it into some kind of tiebreaker. MA2, mixed amateur 2, was a 3-way tie at -8. Leighton Brinster, Chauncey Germain, and Brian Colati. And I'm assuming, it looks like Brian Colati must have won in a tiebreaker because the other 2 were tied for second. And FA1, women's amateur 1, Teresa Boggin, won that by 3 strokes over Stacy Blasdell. And that's the FDR Fools Fest. Anything else on that?
I don't think I have anything particularly exciting other than that. It's always a little bit awkward to look over at the lead card and have 3 or 4 people that look like they're about 20 years younger than me, absolutely crushing me. But
wouldn't that be like a fetus 20 years younger than you?
I'm 29. You got a little bit of space there.
29?
Yeah. But we'll see. I'm assuming that feeling is only going to happen more and more frequently, so I better get used to it.
No doubt. All right. Also, we didn't get an update on the Winter Battle Royale last week. We were down to 5 last I checked. Have there been any updates, Evan?
Yes, there have been actually a couple of matches since we last talked about the Battle Royale. In the losers bracket, going back to the end of March, we had Tim Goyette and Eric Struna had a match. So I'm pretty sure those guys played at Shen, and Tim started out to an early lead, got 2 points on Eric on holes 2 and 3, but Eric got those back on 7 and 10, so they were even going into hole 11, but Tim kind of figured it out and got 3 points, 11, hole 13, and hole 16. So he took that one down 3 and 2 and sent our good friend Eric Struna to the sidelines with everybody else. So that moved Tim on to a matchup with Dennis, which actually just happened yesterday at Greenville. I had played with Tim and Brian Monahan early at Thatcher for some practice, and then Tim left and went to Greenville to play Dennis. Again, started well. He got 2 strokes, gave one back. Sounds like they had a really good back and forth match until about hole 11. I think Tim said he went out of bounds. And then again on maybe 14, Dennis got the last few holes and he took it down 3-2 to knock Tim out. So that sets up a rematch between Dennis Daly and Brian Monahan, and the winner will face Josh in the finals.
So we're down to 3. And then, as you said before, Josh hasn't lost yet. So whoever wins out of Brian and Dennis has to beat him twice.
Correct.
All right. Well ahead of their December expectations. So that's good.
Yeah, exactly. It's moving along. And I know Brandon wants to do a larger scale spring or summer. So stay tuned for that.
All right. Real quick, I just wanted to point out last Monday, Gunk's Monday Dubs, Max Horowitz and Rob Palmatier tied with Nick Warren and Steve Rush at -5. So on Saturday, Jaimen, you guys had New England Team Challenge Seapool Finals. How'd that go?
It went. The weather kind of held out for us. We were expecting, or I was expecting, a cold and rainy day. It just kind of was cold all day, not rainy. But yeah, I mean, first round we had Tank, who's an incredibly talented and strong team with a ton of depth. And so if we were going to beat them, we were going to need to spread ourselves as thin as we possibly could, and then just hope that everybody played out of their shoes. And the downside to that kind of thing is that if everybody doesn't, then you get smacked, and we got smacked. Yeah, they're just a really, really good team. Their Instagram page says, I think it's 2027 A-Pool champions, which is the soonest possible time that they can get to the A-Pool. And starting to believe that, as much as I hate that. So we lost round 1, and then quick turnaround for round 2. We went out against Devil's Grove and had a much better showing. It was really close. It came down to really just one doubles match. If one match had gone different, we would have tied them, pushed it into a playoff, but we just came up short with that one too. So disappointing day, but it was, those are the types of things that as a team you're going to keep growing from. So a lot to look forward to. And we got to go home and a little bit early and rest up for Sunday. So, silver lining.
So how'd the rest of it work out?
Oh, the rest of finals?
Yeah.
So surprising in the first round, Bellamy beat Devil's Grove. That was not what anybody was expecting. They're the 3 seed. So they beat Devil's Grove in the first round, and then Tank did Tank things against Bellamy and beat them in the second round. So Tank took first. So they were off to the B pool. Then Devil's Grove and Bellamy played again, and Bellamy beat Devil's Grove again, which has got to be tough to beat the same team twice in the same day. So Bellamy is out. The C pool, they're up to the B pool. We've got Maine again next year, hopefully neutral or at our place. Now we're just waiting to see what D pool finals do on Saturday.
All right. Corey, any comments about the weekend?
Yeah, like Jaimen said, I was really being pretty pessimistic about the weekend, especially with the weather. It was going to suck to go to New Hampshire again and have to play in not just cold, but rainy weather. It comes to a point that I'd rather just have it snow, except Top of the Hill has rubber tee pads, so I don't know if that would actually be better. I played doubles round 1 against Team Tank with Troy Vasari, and we started off by missing a couple shorter putts, which ended up being, we think, the 2 holes that we needed, because after that, we were matching them birdie for birdie and eventually lost like 14 down to 10 down. So towards the end of that round, we were kind of we knew we weren't going to win, but we were trying to fight for our pride, basically, and scoop up some extra birdies. And then round 2, I ended up playing singles. Again, they call him Lurch, which is funny because he's also the guy last year during the Brewster Ridge Open that someone hacked into his PGA scorecard and gave everybody aces. And I think Muccelli was on that card for Brewster Ridge Open, and Justin was also on the singles card. So, kind of had some fun comments about that. But that round 2 actually, I think, was the best round I've played all weekend. I don't feel like I played that good. I had a couple spurts of, some good play, but I didn't feel like I played up to how I could have, except for that round 2. I was really locked in that round, and I won my match 7-6. Yeah, and then I was, bummed to go 0-2 with the team for finals, but was happy to get home by 7:30. I really thought that we were going to be getting into town at, 11, 12 12 o'clock at night and had to go right to bed and wake up 5 hours later for New York
More disc golf.
finals. So yeah, I'm good to not see New Hampshire for like another 4 to 8 months. I'm really New Hampshire out.
For sure.
What about your weekend, Jason? I mean, your Saturday.
Saturday feels like so long ago right now. All the rounds we played this weekend. But yeah, it was tough finals. I think like we had a pretty tough schedule going against Tank in the first round. But that course, I feel like is definitely birdie or die. I think there were 4 teams in the first round that shot neg 16. So it's like kind of just whoever can get all the birdies wins. And unfortunately, I don't think we got as many as the other teams. But I got to play with Jaimen, so that was cool.
You didn't doubles with Corey at all?
No, the way the matchups worked out, we weren't teamed up.
Would have been cool because I was trying to foreshadow maybe a future match or something.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
We're not.
Okay.
We're not. I just
that may or may not be something to talk about, but I also think that, I wasn't there when matchups were happening, and I think Jason was feeling good about our teaming up originally, and then we lost a couple times, and he might be second guessing it.
Well, obviously, Jaimen knew that Corey's a really strong singles player, and what'd you win? 6 and something?
7 and 6, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
top guy.
Obviously,
That kind of course, I just gotta get the birdies.
There was another storyline. I'll give a shout out to Josh Wynn. Josh Wynn has been undefeated, I think, in singles the entire season. He had 1 loss at Tank, and Jaimen put him up against the same kid that beat him, and Josh came out victorious. So congrats to Josh.
Very nice. What about your weekend, Kaitlyn? Your Saturday. I keep saying weekend.
Yes, Saturday. My Saturday was pretty good. Julie and I played doubles both rounds together. After both the rounds, her and I were talking. First round, we felt like we had both played really, really well, but we were playing another doubles team on paper. I feel like we probably should have beaten pretty handedly, but we ended up tying and then having to go into the quote playoff. But I think Julie and I both know the team itself was kind of losing its match at that point. So we lost after a 1-hole playoff. And then second round, a team that probably should have beat us on paper, we ended up beating them, but we felt like we played like 10 times worse than first round. So just funny how that works out.
Jaimen, any comments on your rounds? Or
Yeah, Jason and I played first round together, which is always a blast. Unfortunately, we played against like 2 assassins on the course. One of the guys we were playing against was just like so automatic with his putting that his partner was doing a good amount of the driving, definitely not the lion's share of it, but he would pick up his disc and then walk away while his partner made the putt. Like, I think 16 out of 18 times. I think he had to double back like once or twice. It was pretty ridiculous how good he was at putting that day.
Like circles edge putts too. Like
Yeah.
Nothing close. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, he made a couple 50-footers. Like, it was just like, we weren't playing bad. We certainly missed a shot here and there, but he was just, between the two of them, they weren't missing anything. So, but it was fun. It's always fun to see good disc golf. And then second round, I didn't feel like I was contributing too much as a doubles partner, and I figured I was going to do better off as a singles player. I was going to sink or swim on my own and not drag anybody down with me. So I put myself out on singles. Started off a little rocky, but was able to get everything going as the match went on, and I was able to finish off a couple holes early and get back there before the time limit.
When you say time limit, how's that work?
Because of the 3 rounds in one day, we set a 3-hour time limit for each round. So if you finish in that 3-hour time limit, great. But if you don't, as soon as the cap is reached, you finish the hole you're on. And if you're tied, you're tied. If you win, you win. But there's nothing else happening after that, not even like a doubles playoff. Like if you finish your match like Kate and Julia did in regulation, in doubles you play off, but you just play off until the time limit. So yeah, speed of play is weirdly important and impossible that day. So it's kind of a delicate balance.
So with Bellamy moving up, that means Devil's Grove is the main team? Is that what you were saying earlier?
Yep.
So you may have to go again to Maine.
I would be very annoyed if we did. It's possible, but I was rooting for Bellamy to stay in the C pool because there's a rule in Team Challenge that if you have 2 teams on the same course in the same pool, then they have to play their neutral matches against each other. And there's already 2 teams from Borderland. If there was 2 teams from Bellamy, then we would only have one of the 3 remaining teams that we would be playing a neutral match against, which would be kind of nice to be able to narrow that down quickly. and the other 3 teams, even though there's actually a spread of 5 different teams because D pool finals hasn't happened. I kind of like those teams all for neutral matches.
Nice. Anything else on New England Team Challenge? Season is done, at least for C pool. And Alex, you guys play next week, Alex and Randy?
Yeah, this coming weekend. So the day after this podcast comes out, we'll be doing our finals at 5:01.
All right. So New York Team Challenge finals was held at Christ the King, CTK. You had the Wrenches, the Whips, the Widowmakers, and the Roses/Rosebuds. Might as well start with CPS played the Widowmakers. That was the 2-3 matchup. Since nobody here is representative of that match. Alex, is that the link for it?
That should be CPS versus Widowmakers, yep.
Awesome. Anybody want to take a quick look and see if there's anything that they notice?
I didn't look at the scores yet. I'll do that now, but I talked to Travis during lunch, and he said that he felt like he had messed up with matchups a little bit. He had the other team go when he should have gone, or vice versa. I don't remember which one it was, but that was Travis's takeaway. It was also after the fact, so it's a little bit easier to look back and see how things turned out.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of the Widowmakers actually stayed on site at Christ King, right, Jaimen?
Yeah, they've been renting that place right off hole 18 for the past couple of years now. But looking at everything, they seem pretty not expected, but good matchups. Nick and Anthony beating Nick Warren and Max by a stroke. A lot of stuff within one stroke. Tim and Dave losing to Nick and JP. That's an interesting one. All 4 super solid players. That'd be a fun match to watch.
When it says 1 hole left, 2 holes left, is there a time limit on this one as well?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd assume that's what that is.
Yeah, because those are doubles matches. I could understand if it was, the whole 4 and 3 or the, 2 and 1 kind of thing, but it looks like all but one of the match. Well, no, actually, none of the matches finished. I mean, obviously, I haven't looked through the other matches, so I don't know if that's a running theme. Did you guys find that where you weren't finishing matches?
I didn't.
Yeah, I think it was like a section of the course got clogged up because I don't think a lot of the matchups and on our teams, the other 2 teams, didn't finish. I know a few didn't, but for the majority did.
I mean, honestly, it looks like it's our fault, Randy.
I know. The second it's like, well, I didn't have a backup. It's like, oh no, I was the backup.
It's also 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 are the holes that didn't finish. So they're all the ones directly behind. But no, I mean, they were out of the woods pretty early. So I don't know. Maybe they were not wanting to go back in the woods.
All right. So it looks like CPS won that one 10-8. So pretty tight match. And like you said, to be expected, that's 2 good teams there. So moving over to the 1 and 4 matchup, we'll start with the ones. Corey, what did you play in round 1?
Yeah, I played doubles with Alex Helenek. Oh, yeah, and we played against Jason Lasasso and Mike Young. Mike Young's his name, right, Jason?
Yeah.
I had never met Mike, I don't think, but I have met Jason plenty of times, and it was a little weird playing against him. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was kind of a weird match. I think you guys took... Oh, yeah, at one point, you guys had 4 or 5 strokes on us, like halfway through the round. And somehow, Alex and myself kind of fought back. We went into the back 9, like just taking a 2-stroke swing, where we bogeyed the newer hole 9, and Jason and Mike birdied it. We get into the back 9. We kind of had a flip-flop where, we birdied hole 11, which is pretty tough, and they bogeyed it. Eventually, we kind of fought back to... I think we even had 1 stroke on you guys with like 3 holes to go.
Yeah, going into hole 1, you guys were up 1.
Oh yeah, going into hole 1, we're up 1, feeling okay about it. Jason and Mike have like a circle's edge putt, pin high left the basket. And I'm sitting there hanging out with Alex, like, okay, so we push this. It's basically match play. I literally said this basically match play from here. We're both going to par this hole. We get to hole 2. We just don't screw it up too bad. We get to hole 3, and hopefully we can come out of this with a win. And Jason just destroys this like 40-foot putt for birdie to tie it up. We go into hole 2, and the entire card screws up the drive. None of us are even in close to position to birdie the hole. We're like short left, barely across the road, basically trying to get us into a position to possibly save 4. I believe me and Jason kind of had similar shots where we threw these spike hyzers that kind of almost hit the basket, and it was basically a putt off. We were like 15 feet away from the basket, just long. I believe we were a little bit closer, so Jason and Mike went first, and Jason caged his putt, and Mike, I think, went high and hit the band. So me and Alex are now licking our chops like, if we can just, birdie this hole, then we'll have 1 up on them with 1 hole to go. And then me and Alex both cage our our putts. So all 4 of us missed 15 footers and like a little bit of wind. We get to hole 3, our last hole. We have plenty of time to play it. And Jason and Mike go first. Jason put it to like inside circle. Me and Alex, I think we got to a putt maybe like 50, 60 feet short of the basket. I run a jump putt and I hit like heavy chains high right and it splashes out. And then Jason, one of you guys made that putt, I'm pretty sure. So it was a little bit of a heartbreaking finish between all of us missing putts on hole 2 and then almost making the putt on hole 3. But that was for the win. So yeah, Jason had like a walk-off circle 1 make. Did I miss anything, Jason?
No, that was the highlights. It was a battle though. I mean, we came off pretty strong, getting 4 down, and then you guys fought back to take the lead and got back to the open holes, and we got it back. But it was a fun card. I like playing with you and Alex, and that was my first time playing with Mike Young too. It worked out well.
Nice. Kaitlyn, you played with Alexis. How'd your match go?
Yes, I played doubles with Alexis. We played Marcia and Cat Cha-Cha. We started on hole 1, so we went through all the open holes first, which we were pretty evenly matched through all those holes. And then once we hit the woods, me and Alexis kind of started crushing them. Yeah, we we were behind a pretty slow card, so I'd say we got through 16, and I think we probably waited on every single hole for at least 5 minutes. So it's kind of brutal. But it was fun. It was good. Good card.
So did you guys finish the round?
No, we had 2 holes left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got through 16.
And Jaimen, you played singles?
Yep.
How'd that go?
It went well. I was playing Chad, so I knew I had my work cut out for me. Chad and I have always kind of traded blows. It was, very close match all the time. He got 2 up on me at one point, but there was a lot of back and forth. Everything that we got was pretty hard earned anytime either of us was taking a point. But at the end, I was able to bring it back to even on hole 4, which was nice. So I finished with a push. I think in a situation like that, I'm pretty happy to push. And yeah, it's just nice to know that A, I didn't give their team any positive points, and B, nobody else had to play Chad. So I felt like I was able to, keep him out of the mix. I think that in doubles, he's likely to help out whoever he's playing with a lot. So, keeping him nullified and also, nullifying myself as well, I guess. But it was nice. I felt like I did my job that match.
All right, so we got a mind kill win, a J Park win, and a push. Randy, what's going on here? How'd you do?
I did pretty good. I played singles, which wasn't my plan in the morning. Ryan Travis couldn't make it, so we had to sit someone. So in that case with finals, it changes the numbers from 5 doubles and 8 singles to 9 singles and 4 doubles. So I had to break up doubles, like shuffle people, like all on the fly. So I think me and Jaimen, I wasn't planning on us playing singles, but here we are playing singles. So I played Jeremy Whitaker. I've known him for a long time. And I also had Chris Dahl and Justin Metis on the card. So really good vibe on that card. I think Jeremy Whitaker is training for like a marathon right now. So he's not spending all that much time practicing. We had a lot of fun. He was early releasing a lot of his shots. I gave him a lot of chances. Like he would mess up and then I would just mess up in response. But I was able to close it out 6-5 by the end of that.
All right. So with Ryan Travis 148-343 not there, was there any kind of penalty or anything like that?
Yeah, so they took a point or a half point penalty.
Do you guys know going in exactly how many you're bringing, or do you figure that out day of, or how does that work?
So it's supposed to be 18 players per team. And, we know who qualified for finals. So every team had more than 18 players qualify, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think any team had less. So yeah, the assumption is 18 players.
I tried really hard to guilt Brian into moving Kate up to play as a man. So he'd have to bench Justin, but he wasn't buying it.
Well, it looks like Mind Kill won in singles 5-4 of the 9 matches, and then doubles 6-2. So 11-6 with the half point penalty. So 11.5-6. So that means you've got CPS and Mind Killer, your winners for round 1. They play each other in round 2. And then the Widowmakers play the Wrenches. Am I correct there?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So round 2, we got the losers bracket. The Wrenches and the Widowmakers. Corey, how'd that go?
It went okay. I played with Justin that round against Alden Slack and Nick Terralavaro, who are, Alden is definitely one of their top guys. Nick is up there as well. I don't get a chance to play with either of them that often, and I think we all have a good time together. So It's funny. I don't know that me and Mucelli like play together all that often, even in J-Dub. Well, it's definitely not this year in J-Dubs, but we don't play that well together. And we don't really understand why. I don't know if our strategy is wrong or if we can't really get like that ham and egg going. Either are both blowing it or we both have a good shot. But yeah, I didn't play well this round either. And actually this one had been the worst round I played all weekend. I was early releasing a lot of things, nose upping my shots. It was a little windy at CTK, but like not anything that should have been too crazy. And just wasn't playing well. I don't know if it's because I had maybe a couple of breakfast drinks or not.
Well, it's also your fourth round of the weekend, no?
Yeah, it's half an excuse. I mean, I my body felt okay, but I have this problem, and I think I mentioned it before, where like I'm pretty sure my release finger or my pinch point is more on my middle finger than on my index finger, like a lot of people have. And some way that I grip it every now and then, it just kind of like tears the tip of my finger. So eventually it'll get a little swollen, maybe turn into a blood blister, and sometimes even like kind of tear my fingernail tip. Not anything crazy, like but when your fingernails are not cut as low as they normally are, the disc lets you know. So yeah, at this point, I've probably played 100 holes of disc golf, if not more. I was kind of feeling it, but yeah, Alden and Nick were just kind of laying it on us pretty hard. We ended up losing our match 10-5, or 10 down to 5 down. I think we had 2 bogey there, so not good. Kind of joking that like when you're in your match and you're losing, you kind of have this. You're only one match, but you have this feeling that like your entire team is losing. So we weren't that optimistic that we were going to come back as on a win. And then on our last hole, we finished on hole 17. We were kind of like messing around, and I fake rage through Justin's disc, like try to hit the basket. And of course I missed the basket from 15 feet away, and his disc went sailing, and I think we got distracted. We didn't go pick it up. We walk from 17 all the way back to hole 1, which it's got to be like quarter mile or half mile. And Justin realizes he doesn't have his disc. So we turn back around, try to go find it. Couldn't. Walked around for like 10 minutes. Eventually give up, come back to Tournament Central, and find out that we did win our match. So now we were going to have to go and play a third round after just probably walking a mile and a half back and forth and looking for his disc. Yeah.
Yeah. And your fourth round in 2 days, about to play your fifth. Well, it's a half round, right? So
yeah, my watch is already saying like 25,000 steps in a day or something like that. So I already had a full day. We all did, but.
And Kaitlyn, you played with Alexis?
Yeah, Alexis and I played together again. Round 2, it kind of went the same way, but instead of starting on the open holes, we started in the woods. So we got a lead pretty early on. I think we shot like 10 down. We were playing reds, but using blue on UDisc. And I think it was like 10 down on that. I think the par is like 3 or 4 difference. I think we shot like 6 or 7 down on the red. So we killed it. We won our match. Nothing super notable out there. Alexis is a good complementary partner to me because she has a really good Anheuser throw. So
how often do you get to play CTK?
I probably only get up there like 3 times a year, really.
All right. So it looks like you guys tied in doubles, but as Corey already said, that you guys won 6-3 in singles. I see Bickersmith won his match. Chad Larson. Anything else notable about that?
That whole like us not having Ryan thing kind of messed up. I think Travis and Nick, as they were doing matchups too, I think they forgot that we were down a player. Not that the information was not portrayed to them at least a couple times, but they must just didn't think about it at the time. So not that I was there, but just secondhand knowledge. When they were getting towards the end of their matches, I think they had assumed that they were going to have a doubles match left over, which wasn't the case. So they ended up actually benching one of their better players just because what was left and what they had slots to fill.
Oh, that's interesting. So you guys ended up winning 10-7.5 with that. They got the half penalty point, and that means you guys get to move on to battle for second place. But before we get to second place, we got to find out who won this puppy. So we got the CPS Rosebuds against the Whips. Randy, how'd that go? What were you thinking?
What was I thinking?
I know what I'd be thinking. This is mind kill, man. We're always in second place.
No, the nerves during matchups were really high for both finals matchups compared to the regular season. It was a lot, especially with the different format. But preparation, I think, got me there. I had a lot of scenarios like pre-built. We had like a nice spreadsheet compared to CPS, which had a blank sheet of paper. So that was a little intimidating. So matchups, I think, went pretty well. Of course, I'm not looking at them. There they go, Alex. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, so for matchups, we got kind of, let's see, Marcia wanted to play Lisa, and so we made that happen. And then we had our ladies play doubles, which I think was a little bit of an advantage for CPS, but it was just a good way to have it played, I guess, strategy-wise, like for the rest of the matchups. And then, the rest went kind of as planned. I got to play with Jason, who I don't know if we actually have played together before. We've definitely played on the same cards a bunch of times, but as doubles partners, not really sure if we have.
Do you mean in Team Challenge or just in general?
Like in general. I don't know. Jason, do you remember us ever being partners?
I don't think we've ever played as doubles partners.
Yeah. So we had Ethan and Justin Fry, and they shot the hot round in the morning. I think like 13 or 14 down, something like that. Is that right? I don't know. Either way, they shot a hot round in the morning. So we knew we were getting into, a pretty contested match, and they didn't shoot as hot. We kept finding opportunities to score on them and would somehow just, get the same score. Lots of pars after birdie opportunities. I don't know, Jason, if you want to give your side of that.
You're doing a pretty good job. Yeah, I was thinking back. I think Ethan said they didn't finish like the last few holes the first round, but they were on pace to do or they finished them afterwards and got like neg 16 or something like that.
It's shown 45 with 2 holes left.
And what is 45? Is that, Jaimen, what's that under par? What's part CTK? If only somebody put on this.
Is it 72 on
I wrote that
board?
as a joke, but
okay, yeah, because I was like, that's an insane score.
I think it's 64.
Yeah.
And they were at 45.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's not adding up then.
Yeah, that's like 19 down. Is that math?
Anyway, yeah, that kid Ethan, he's pretty good. On hole 7, the helicopter pad one. I have a video of where his drive landed. He was almost to the circle for eagle, and then also watched him beat the corner on hole 9. He was his drive was in the bottleneck.
Yep.
Pretty impressive to see. I don't think I've ever seen anybody land there. And solid putter too. I don't know how many clutch putts that kid made, but he's got a very relaxed style putt, and you could just tell from his body language that he was going to make it every time.
Yeah, coming down the stretch with 2 holes left, I think we were tied, and they were in a bush 30 feet away, and we had a wide open 20-footer into a headwind, and Ethan just got in the bush and drained the putt, and then we missed our headwind putt to get them one ahead of us, and then luckily we were able to tie it up on that final hole after Jason made a really great circle's edge putt. So then we had to go into a playoff, and we're playing off on hole 4 where the tee shot is out into the big open field with a really good headwind. After 2 shots, we had 100-foot look for birdie, and they were laying, 12 feet away. So Jason threw his up shot, and it was pretty parked. So I'm thinking all I got to do is throw this in to keep us alive. And the clock, I think, had already run out. So that was the final hole. So if I threw it in, we would have pushed the match, which would have been a success in my book. So I let the thing go. About halfway there, I said something along the lines of "let's go," because I could tell it was going in, and it landed dead center in the chains and came straight back out.
Oh no.
So we lost that playoff.
Yeah, it was pretty epic upshot. It was perfect, but there was a headwind that I think literally just blew it out. It was such a good upshot. And there was a little gallery there. I think Jaimen and a few other people were watching. So good job, Randy. It should have stuck though.
Yeah, it would have been cool.
Yep. Beautiful shot.
I had started on hole 4 both rounds, and ironically made a clutch putt both rounds on hole 3 to the first round win the round, and then on the second one to tie it. And ironically missed a short putt both rounds on hole 2.
You should have told me.
It was in my head a little bit. Yeah. But when we had tied after hit the putt on 3, I was kind of hoping the clock would run out, and Jaimen and the card in front of us were still in arm's reach. And I'm like, well, if they just slow down a little bit, maybe the clock will run out and we'll just tie. But that didn't happen. So yeah, we had to do it. But
it was really funny. We had control of the box, and Ethan was getting super anxious and being like, I think you can throw now. And I'm like, I don't know. They're still out there, even though there's no way I'm in a headwind throwing it 600 feet. But I also was keeping track of the time. I wasn't going to be a jerk and not play the hole. So let him sweat for 2 minutes, and we played the hole anyways.
All right. And Jaimen, it looks like you played with the Dubs cheat code, Peter Hodge.
Yep.
How'd that go?
Peter Hodge is a Dubs cheat code. We were playing a great round, but Kyle and Mike were playing just perfect, absolutely perfect golf. we started on hole 5. They put their first shot like 50, 60 feet away, and Kyle just cans this ridiculous birdie putt. Mike had gone for it, and he was not close. Like, they probably had like a 25-foot comebacker. For me, that's a recipe for hitting the cage every single time. Kyle, on an elevated basket, just cans this putt to start off strong, and then they birdied everything else for the next 9 holes. So they started off 10 under. Peter and I were 7 under through 10 holes, feeling like we were playing great. And what can you do if they just birdie every hole? But after those 10 holes, they started to falter a little bit. We would gain one back, and then they kind of gained a couple back, and just kind of fought back and forth. And then finally, towards the end, we were able to, we took hole 1 on them, and then we took hole 3 on them to tie it back up. So we're all tied going into the last hole, and it was hole 4. And Peter, being a lefty, has a very easy shot on that hole, just throws a pretty stock hyzer, lands very safely in bounds, which allows me to kind of let loose on one. So I had a really good shot that fought the wind just right and landed far down there enough for a pretty easy, or a, relatively easy approach shot for a birdie, or at least a par. And then Kyle and Mike, both of them went out of bounds. Mike threw his and it never turned over, and Kyle, rather than playing the safe shot, still went for it, and he didn't get the wind he was looking for. And so with both of them out of bounds, all we had to do was just kind of lay up to win it. So it was another tough match, close the entire time, but we were able to come away with that win.
And what's Mike's last name?
Guido.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
So each team has a dubs win at this point. How'd the rest of it go?
Notable round, I think Justin Hickok. So he was the person we had to bench in the morning. So he really wasn't warmed up like everybody else for the second round. And I think he said he gave up his first 5 holes against Tyler Gannon, who has a pretty significant ratings advantage on him.
And a cannon.
Yeah, that he does. But, Justin got in a good practice round with Peter Hodge like a week before. So he kind of knew what he was doing. And he battled back for, the remaining 13 holes and was able to push that match. So shout out to Justin for that.
Heck yeah. Looks like Ryan Nelson was there. That's good.
He was.
And they won, so that's even better. So you guys don't have it broken down the way the other ones did as far as for singles and doubles separated, but that's okay. So you guys ended up winning 10.5 to 7.5. Jason, on one hand, you could say, well, it took 2 of them to take over for me. On the other hand, you could say, well, those 2 of them won. They won the whole thing. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think the numbers speak for themselves.
All right. So what year is this again? This is the 3rd or 4th year of New York Team Challenge.
Fifth?
Yeah, I think 5th.
Oh, yeah, because 2000. So, yeah. Well, that would have been 2000, 2001, right?
Did we start the end of 2020?
Yeah.
We must have. We wouldn't have started it in April of 2020.
No.
So 4th year, no?
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
ending in 21, ending in 22.
Yeah. Good thing I can delete that. So congratulations to the Mindkill Whips, their first New York Team Challenge championship, but different in previous years, right? Or I know there's been some controversy about the second place match. Last year, did you guys even play it?
No. So last year we wrote into the rules that the regular season seeding would just dictate who got 2nd and 3rd place. So we took 3rd last year after winning our morning round and losing the championship match.
Kaitlyn, was there any kind of thought process about having this match or voting process or anything?
Yeah, there was talk, I don't know when it occurred, but people had expressed that they didn't like how it was determined, like who was 2nd, 3rd place after losing the championship based on the points or however it was done before. So we put it out to a vote on how we would want to determine the 2nd and 3rd place matches, and the 9-hole doubles is what was come up with between all the captains in the group.
Were there any other fun, curious formats to do it that were interesting or no?
I feel like Randy made a lot of the proposals. Randy, do you remember any of them?
I did write that vote up. It was, I think I gave 5 options or 4 options. It could be your team's 2 best champions in a sudden death playoff, although I think we changed it to like a 3-hole playoff with sudden death just so it wouldn't end on a single hole. Another option just being a full third match, which I don't think anyone wanted. So I basically tried to propose like the quickest, easiest option, a middle option, and then the longest option. And we went with the middle one, which was everybody playing doubles for 9 holes, which seemed to move pretty quick.
Yeah. Before we get to that, I'm trying to think, was it Mind Kill last year? Like you said, you guys won the first match and then lost the second. So you knew kind of going in that you didn't even really have a shot at second place, right? If you lost, I mean.
Yeah, exactly. We kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah, it makes total sense to do this. So, Corey, how'd that go? Who'd you play with? Oh, Alex again.
Yeah, played with Alex again, and it's funny going through these matches. I'm like, I could have sworn I played against Ethan one of these rounds, but maybe I didn't. No, we did this round. By this point I was cooked. Like, I don't remember. I mean, I don't remember half the match. It feels like, but yeah, going up against Ethan, hot off of his MA1 win at FDR.
Quick question, Corey. If you're going to play 9 holes at CTK, you guys started on 5. If you had your choice, what hole would you start on to play 9 holes there?
I probably would have chose probably just hole 1. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much time there was between like when we finished our second round until we started our third round. I didn't really sit down at all, so I feel like I didn't have to like re-warm up going into the third round. But yeah, I don't know. Hole 1's a little bit closer walk.
Okay. So how'd your round go?
It went okay. We were kind of going tit for tat for a lot of it. We get to hole 9, and it was kind of the opposite of, kind of started having deja vu, but in a better way when our match against Jason, where we took a 5 and Jason took a 3, we were able to get a birdie on hole 9, and Ethan and Tim, they both went OB on the approach shot, so they ended up taking a bogey on that one, which got us right back into the match. But me and Alex struggled on hole 2 again, and we bogeyed that one. They parred it, and that ended up being the match, basically. We lost by 1 stroke, and that would have been nice to not have lost that match by 1 stroke, because then we would have taken the win for the team. But losing by 1 in a round, and then, you know, finding out that you lost by 1 match kind of stinks. Yeah, I didn't really play well at all at CTK, but I felt like especially Alex, he's just a kind of a guy you want to like prove your worth, and I failed him.
How often do you get to play CTK in a year?
At this point, probably a dozen rounds, it feels like, between, you know, a couple tournaments and, you know, Pro League was happening there. And then, you know, CTK is just like, it's an hour away. I kind of like to drive up there. I even though it rained, I drove my little Eagle Talon up there just to kind of, you know, enjoy the drive and the views, shifting my own gears. And then somehow on the way home, I got home later than I think I did from when we came back from New Hampshire. It was a long ass day. And what really topped it off was, I'm like, I don't want to cook. I'm going to stop at McDonald's, you know, use some of my points, get a deal. And these sons of bitches didn't put my medium fry in my bag. And I didn't realize it until I got all the way home. So I had already accepted the fact I was going to have kind of cold French fries. And then much to my surprise, I get home and there's no French fries.
I don't know what's worse, cold fries or no fries.
Yeah, I don't know. So I went to bed.
Probably no fries.
I went to bed.
All right. So, Kaitlyn, Corey's been pointing out that he played a lot of disc golf. Correct me if I'm wrong. You played exactly the same amount as him, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe I played 1 hole more because I had a 1-hole playoff in doubles round 1 on Saturday. So
I did go to New Hampshire on Friday and played early, though.
Oh, okay.
So how'd your round go? You played with Alexis again?
Yeah, I think I blacked it out. I don't even know how we got that low of a score, to be honest. We both were ready to go. I had absolutely no mental energy left at this point after I was the driver on Friday and Saturday from New Hampshire and back, and then organizing finals for Sunday, and then playing 4.5 rounds. I think, I was done. Yeah, I was cooked, as Corey said, cooked. So I think we put up quite a good effort considering that. I'm surprised we only lost by 2.
Same question I asked Corey. If you were going to play 9 holes at CTK, what hole would you start on? You started on hole 2, it looks like. So you played mostly the front.
Well, so I don't know if this was said before, but we only played 1 through 9.
Oh, so even though you started
Yeah.
on 2, you went back to okay. So you
Yeah,
played
yeah,
9 and then
yeah.
1. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep. But yeah, I'm with Corey. Whatever's gonna make me walk as minimal as possible. I was lazy enough that I drove my car from the parking lot of the center to hole 1, which is not that far of a walk. So
It's
No, I thought Kate was done. I thought she was leaving.
Just piecing out in her car.
Yeah, literally peace sign, windows up.
My phone did say, or my watch did say, that somehow exactly 15 miles and 38 floors climbed on that day, just shy of 32,000 steps.
Well, you signed up for Mighty Gauss, so
Mighty God, I'm gonna feel great after that. I'm not even gonna be sweating. My ankles are gonna feel great.
yeah.
bring an extra pair of socks. So it looks like CPS sneaked it out 9.5 with the penalty point to 8. So it was really, like Corey said earlier, 1 match difference. So basically that means in third place you get your money back, and in second place you get twice as much or something like that. So that's cool. In hindsight, does everybody think that this is a good setup and it should be the same way next year? Anybody not think that that's a good idea?
There is nothing in particular that I think that jumps out to me that needed to be changed that I could think of right now. I think Team Challenge as a whole, both the season and the playoffs, went pretty good. Yeah, I might have differing opinions on the whole reserve versus roster moves and all that stuff. It seemed like people being short was a common theme throughout the season. I don't know if there's a good way to, or if that's even a problem. I don't know.
I feel like people were short, but they also had room on their bench that wasn't used. So I think the problem of being short was irrelevant to which way or the other we were doing.
Yeah, I think the reserve system actually made it easier to recruit people in a sense because, no one was able to last minute pull anyone the way we did it this year. So it wouldn't have really been different using the old system.
So is this more people, not like pointing fingers, just thinking out loud? Is it just more like captains or whoever not doing the most that they could to fill slots to have a full roster match day, or was there a lot of situations where it was just shit happened and there wasn't enough time to figure it out? Or
I think for Tower of Power, we filled our reserve pretty early on. Once somebody played a match, they're locked into your team. And it wasn't until I think our last match, we kind of had an issue where enough people couldn't make it on the same day that we, were concerned about being short. But otherwise, compared to our first season where we burned through all our roster moves because, we were moving people in and out for singles and doubles, and I liked the reserve system better personally.
So in that situation, was that just you guys mismanaging, or the players that said they were playing, you weren't picking the best people based on availability for matches? You can't just keep a bunch of people that say, oh yeah, I'll play half a day for this day and not be around for any other days.
I think it was, a lot of it was inexperience, and we recruited, who was available because a lot of the people who wanted to play Team Challenge were already playing Team Challenge. So it was, literally our first year. I don't think anybody on our team had played Team Challenge ever. So we had, a situation where a strong player who we liked could play in the morning, but then had to leave to go to work. And with roster moves, every time he left and someone came in for doubles, that was a move. And then next month when he came back and played singles, that was another move. So we just literally torched our moves because we wanted everybody to be able to play because it was friendly, not as competitive maybe per se.
I will say that my hope is at least to have Kaitlyn on next week to do kind of a
looking back,
maybe address a few of these type of questions.
Oh, so this is a little preview section. This is a little preview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even saying don't ask any other questions. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I'm glad it's over. I made this joke, I think, on the drive home, and maybe it was even Saturday, the drive home. Oh man, Team Challenge season's over. I got my Saturdays back, which I don't. I think I'm sure between now and October, it's every other, at least twice a month.
So we had Mindkill in first place, CPS in second, J Park in third, and Wilcox in fourth. And I don't know if you guys remember this or realize this, but we made picks. Or you guys made picks. I didn't make any picks. For New York Team Challenge finals picks. What I asked you guys to do was just to predict the top 4, to predict how it would finish. And I'll just go from the bottom up. Evan had a record of 9-11. He picked Mindkill to win, Wilcox in second, J Park in third, CPS in fourth. He got Mindkill and J Park, so he ended up 2-2 there for a final record of 11-13.
Gross.
Jacob picked J Park in first, the Roses in second, the Whips in third, and he was the only one to nail the Widowmakers in fourth. We even went back and forth on instant. I was like, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yep." He ended up with the Roses in second and the Widowmakers in fourth, so he was also 2-2. So his 7-7 record becomes 9-9. Alex, he had Mindkill, Wilcox, J Park, CPS, so he got Mindkill and J Park. Another 2-2. So his 16-10 becomes an 18-12 final record. Jason, he picked Mindkill first, Wilcox second, J Park third, CPS fourth. And again, he got Mindkill and J Park right, 2-2. We're starting to see a theme here. Jason was 17-7. He is now 19-9 to end the season. Randy, he had Mindkill in first, Wilcox in second, CPS in third, J Park in fourth. So he was 1-3. He got Mindkill right, but that's it. He was 19-7. That put him at 20-10 for the season. So 20 wins. That's not everybody got 20 wins. Kaitlyn, she was 19-5. She picked Wilcox in first, J Park in second, Mindkill in third, CPS in fourth. She didn't get any points there. So she ended up 19-9. Still not bad, 19-9. And then our top two, Jaimen at 20-6, Corey at 22-4 as a reminder.
Come on, Jaimen. Fuck this up.
I don't even remember.
Everybody sent them to me individually, so yeah, these guys don't know who picked what. I'm going to do Corey first because let's build the drama. Corey was 22-4. He picked J Park to win it, Mindkill in second, Wilcox in third, and CPS in fourth. So he also, like Kaitlyn, got known. So he ended up at 22-8. Jaimen down 2 wins. He picked Mindkill to win it. Wilcox in second, CPS in third, J Park in fourth. He got 1 win. So he ended up at 21-9. 1 win behind Corey, our pick champion.
Damn, Jaimen finished 1 stroke behind me. I don't know. I don't want that to be a thing this year, but
Well, there's only one way to find out, right?
Find out next time.
But that ended up pretty tight. That was cool.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And the fact that none of you guys knew the picks, that made it
I'm glad you went with the idea of a secret ballot.
I think you might have mentioned that.
I might have.
I was grilling Corey yesterday on his. I was like, well, who did you choose?
I forgot to even send him to Pat, and I don't even know why I looked at my. Actually, it was when I got back from New Hampshire. I sent a quick 8:30 message to Pat for some random picks.
I kind of said last call or whatever, but you guys had till Sunday technically. I wasn't. It wasn't that much of an issue, but I'm glad you guys. Everybody got them in. One other thing about New York Team Challenge, the faux finals. What is that, and when is that?
The losers. This will be the second year. I'm going off the top of my head here. It was at Central Park last year. It was organized by Jackie and Juliet, the Disky Chicks, captains of Burbine. And it was random draw dubs. It would probably be more helpful if I pull up this year's event picture. It was a lot of fun. Thanks, Randy.
It already happened?
No. I'm talking about it happened last year.
Okay.
And they're doing it again. And I'm not prepared.
That's fine. I kind of just pulled it out. So
I think you've got every detail right so far.
Hopefully you can edit that into something coherent. It's happening on Sunday the 13th. I got to find the picture. I think it's in Central again.
Yeah, I believe we're using the league fund to rent the pavilion at CPS, which I think is a great idea.
Oh, there was some talk of that, right? Oh, you guys can speak to that part maybe.
Yes. Part of the league fund is going to CPS Pavilion rental.
I thought Jackie said on Sunday they were thinking about moving it to J Park. Is that a thing or no?
If they did, I didn't see that.
Okay, never mind.
So wait a second. We ran out of beer at finals because the losers are getting a pavilion.
Oh yeah, that was kind of bullshit. Not gonna lie.
I'm kidding. I just wanted to
Who
say
voted on this? And I don't even drink, so you guys should have had more.
I'm kidding.
Been on whoever was buying the beer.
I appreciated the sugar-free soda a lot.
You're welcome, Jaimen. Also, I will say I bought enough beer for every single person to have almost 2 alcoholic drinks. So not everyone drinks alcohol. So let me just put that
Holy
out there.
hell.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I take
that's
back what
how
I
much
said.
we ran out of.
I rationed.
I'm starting to understand Dave Hudson playing so bad all day.
Yeah.
The New York Team Challenge Losers Invitational Faux Finals. Burbine, Saratoga, Stony Kill, SPW, Albatross Creek. You're invited. Where? CPS. When? Sunday, April 13th. How much? $5 buy-in. Why? For the fun of it. Sign in at 8:30, start at 9. Sign in with Jackie and Juliet. All losing team players are welcome. 1 round, random doubles, random debauchery. Most fun wins, and the winning team will cash. After party gathering at Frog Alley. What is Frog Alley?
It's a brew pub in Schenectady, I believe.
All right.
Yeah.
Jamin, what's Birdie?
It's a board game created by Steve Dodge.
Is it any fun?
I think so. I can't say I've played like with all of the rules. There's a few things that I've just kind of like ignored every time I played it, but
House rules, nothing wrong with that.
right. Yeah, there's these like karma cards, there's player cards. It's just it's fun. I think that they did a pretty good job with it. You're rolling to see where you're landing, and there's a dice for like kind of toss up putts, whether you're chaining out or you're hitting your putt or you're rolling to circle 1 or circle 2, that kind of thing. And then I think it's a 20-sided die for certain spots that you land, whether or not you're in bounds or out of bounds. So like on like hole 8 at Maple Hill, for instance, if you roll like a 5, you're just out of bounds. But if you roll, 16 or something like that, you might be out of bounds. Then you got to roll this other dice to find out if you're out of bounds. It's a fun game. I like it. Are you referring to Dave Martin's Birdie League?
Yeah, I saw you won one of the weeks, right?
Yeah. In downtown Glens Falls, there's this board game tavern, and we checked it out one day, and he brought that and we played it, and he wanted to run a league. Dave Martin is the type of guy who couldn't be less interested in like the actual competition of disc golf. He's really interested in the frisbee culture of it. So this was just kind of like right up his alley, just something fun to do. No real like competition in it. You're just sitting there playing a board game with a bunch of friends.
I assume it was because of the weather up there. It's like not ideal for playing right now.
Yeah, it's finally getting there. I mean, it's been cold, but I think there still might be a couple patches of ice at Jenkinsville just because there's some really shady spots, but 99% of everything's good now.
No, I think it's great that it's something to do instead of being able to play. So I assume that this week or the most recent week is probably coming to an end.
Pretty soon. Yeah, I don't remember exactly, but if not this week, maybe next week. But it's been fun. I've been enjoying going there. It's been tough because we have to drive to freaking New Hampshire every other week. But yeah. Awesome.
The only other thing that I was hoping to get to, SkipAce. We've neglected it for a couple weeks. Jason, do we know what's going on with Fools Fest? Has that issue been resolved?
I thought I heard that it was.
I'm looking at it now and there's points.
Yeah, it looks like MPO points have been scored, FPO points have not.
What do we want to do about that? Do we want to try to add FPO? Do we want to keep it just with MPO? Or do we want to eliminate Fools Fest as one of our weekly picks? What do you guys think?
I would say either leave it, because if everyone gets zeros, is it really that big of a deal, or just delete it?
I was going to say I'm fine with leaving it. The only way I think it could negatively impact the league in general is people that didn't pick on there. They're not going to have that as their lowest score, right? But I guess they would have 0 as their lowest score, so it wouldn't matter too much. But yeah, it seems like that's going to be kind of generally people's one of the lower scores because they're missing those 2 picks.
That's a good point.
But yeah, I don't know. I think either way is fine. I don't see really too many adverse effects because, as I just realized, if you didn't pick, you just get a 0, and it's going to be one of your lowest ones anyways.
I had the same thought as Corey. Just, leave it. And what was the FPO field for that event? Was it like
7, I believe?
Oh, was it 7? Yeah, I don't know. If you want my vote, I would say leave it as it is scored.
6, really, because we couldn't pick Kaitlyn.
Oh, right. That happened too.
6,
that's right.
yeah.
I would say just delete it. We tried. It failed. You could thank the event for being too big, having too many days to wait.
Well, that's the thing. You can't criticize the event because it's like, like you said, it got too big and they had to figure out a way to do it.
We found a tournament that does not jive well with SkipAce.
Yeah. I might have a star by my name, but that's only for the elimination round. Jason is the commissioner of the listener pool, so he gets the final say on that.
Actually, opening it up right now, it looks like I can only delete events that haven't happened yet.
Oh, all right. That's easy.
Unless there's another way to get around that. And I did email Johnny V last week to see if he could fix the FPO, but he hasn't got back to me.
Maybe Evan should reach out to him.
He asked me a question about it and I replied. So, yeah, I can follow up with that.
Well, I think whoever picked for it is probably going to be their lowest other than a 0, just because 891 is the highest.
So right now, what's happening with it? You're getting 0 points, or
FPO has 0 points. It's basically just scored MPO.
okay. And we kept the rating cap the same, so really you could probably pick anybody you wanted it for MPO anyway. So it's not like you used up points.
Yeah, I think I still had like 200 or 300 points left after making all 6 of my picks. So
I guess leave it, and then if it gets fixed, it gets fixed. If not, then everybody kind of zeroed out. I guess, can I change the settings to add another dropped event? Because is that the concern is that it would be a dropped event for everybody?
That's interesting. The scoring separation was all that big though, because I think I did really bad, but I was only like 200 points off the lead or something.
But I think the point is, if you pick every week, no matter what, this is going to be one of the events that gets dropped.
Oh, because there was less available points. Got it. Yep.
Like I said, I had 200 or 300 extra points left over. There's a chance with FPO that it still would have been one of the ones that gets dropped. And then you're like, there's 68 people who pick with a league of like 120 something people. Obviously, not every one of those is active, but still, that's 68 people who, if they miss a pick or if they miss 2 picks, this is going to count, and it could theoretically hurt them. What about the idea, Jay? I don't know if that's even possible if you could add another drop, but what do we think of that?
I'm looking through it.
Oh, okay. Well, then it's a moot point. Cow's opinion.
Big old nothing burger.
I got no other ideas that won't work.
I'm just saying it's not going to hurt anybody because the scoring separation was so little, right? Am I crazy?
The only way it would hurt is because, in theory, if you had 2 really bad events and I had 1 really bad event, the old way would have gave you more of an advantage, but now I'll have more of an advantage. But I guess in the long run, it shouldn't matter. I'm like really tired and not focused right now, so I could be totally wrong.
Like I said, it's a fun thing that we wanted to try to do. I think there might be a handful of people who, if they miss 2 picks, might get a little scrooged, but having this be one of my drops, doesn't matter to me. Corey's usually the stickler on these kind of things.
The only people that would be getting punished on this are the people that were trolling with their picks anyways. Nick Warren, you picked Nick Warren and Alden Slack. Didn't work out for you. On the flip side, Brian Monahan picked a bunch of killers, and what did they do? They killed. Oh yeah, I came in second place? I didn't even notice that until just now. Okay. Yeah, let's get around.
You came in second, and this is probably going to be something that gets dropped.
It's possible.
I mean, I'm fine with it, and we could always kick the can down the road too, because couldn't we later in the year end up dropping it? So
we'll just put an asterisk on this so that at the end of the year, if there's some storyline at the top that like, oh, did this person pick FDR picks? This could be the game changer. We'll come back to it.
Am I thinking about this right? That it's probably not going to get dropped because if we keep doing local events and there's only 20 MPO, wouldn't there be less points in an event like a discap like the Jammer or something? And there's only 20 or maybe even like 16 MPO, because then the player's beat score would be much lower, right?
I forget that we'll probably have a handful of other local events, so it might not. I mean, it might for me, but it might not for Brian Monahan. So I say keep it without the FPO, and depending on how much of this I keep in the final edit, we'll hear from people if they have any issue.
Seems like some B-roll right here.
But B-roll still gets heard,
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'll just go through. Brian Monahan is your winner. Corey Cook in second. Jason tied for fifth with Ordeezy, the real Pat J. Keenan, Travis Pashore, and Wayne Lunsford. Evan, 14th place. Tim Goyette in 15th. Randy, 31st. Alex, 43rd, tied with Kyle Hirsch. Jaimen in 46th. Ryan Nelson, 48th. Top of the second page, 51st place, baby. That's me. The real Pat J. Keenan. And Nick Warren Biggs, 212 points, 68th place. Who did he pick? Did he pick me for this? Oh, he picked himself. Got himself 84 points. Zach Doyle, not a bad pick. Dylan Capiccioli, good pick. And Alden Slack. Oh, everybody's a good pick there, I think. I think for an event like this, though, you want more than 84, or you're looking for more Dylan points, 156. I didn't realize that there was an elimination this week, the Music City Open. So I will have to go back and make a little video for our next eliminated. This week, we say goodbye to Mikey Botles from the SkipAce Guillotine League with Runaround by the Band of the Reserve out of Robbins Air Force Base in Georgia. He joined us for this league, and even though it's in beta, I feel like he was given the runaround, not just because it fits the song. But because the first couple weeks we had some waiver wire kinks, and despite being in prime position each of those weeks, I don't think he ever picked up a player. Despite those setbacks, he still outlasted Kristen, myself, and Jaimen, finishing 7th place despite only having 3 wins in 4 weeks.
Not without a certain degree of fear of what will be with you and me. I still can see things hopefully, but why you wanna get me run around? Is it a surefire way to speed things up when all it does is slow me down?
Congratulations, Mikey Batles, and farewell. Mikey Batles, it finally caught up with him.
Yeah, he couldn't keep getting away with it.
79th place with 708 points, Ryan Nelson. 78th place with 805 points, me. Corey Cook, 56th place, second page. Corey, join me on this second page.
I can't. I'm trying to get there myself.
It's actually pretty comfortable over here. I don't know. I'm getting used to it. 48th place, Rob Weiss of Mississippi. The Ace Pop podcast still keeps picking. They came in 40th. Real Pat J. Keenan tied for 33rd with Tim Goyette. That guy sucks. Jason Lasasso in 32nd. Ivan Ivan Marmota in 31st. Kathleen Bemis 26th. Tucker Rules 25th. Highland Mike Warner 24th. Baker Smith 22nd. Jamin Hume 18th. Behind Jess Lasasso in 17th. Alex in 11th. And your top 10, Randy Bobandy, 10th place.
Frickin' Randy. Bumping me out of the top 10.
Oh, by 7 points, you got.
Yep.
9th place is Byron. 8th place, Wayne Lunsford. Aaron Holpe in 7th. Zach McDonald in 6th. B. Klein. Brandon S. Klein in 5th. Evan, top 5, 4th place. Nice. Mike Schwartz in 3rd. Alex's buddy Jack Straw in 2nd. And Heat Check is your winner for the Music City Open. Kaitlyn, where are your picks? I didn't see any of your picks. What's going on?
I know. I really struggled with picks last year, so I didn't do it this year.
That's quite all right. I just wanted to bust your chops because it was fun. We got 124 overall. I hope none of us are on the last page because I didn't really look. Kenji Klein in 90th. Mikey Botless, 87. Turtles in Your Face, 82nd. Kristen McDonald, 76. Ryan Nelson, 73rd. I'm in 70th. Right behind the Ace Pop podcast, which is in 69th. Tucker the Koala in 59th. Ryan Travis 148-343 in 57th. Ivan Ivan Marmota 52nd. Front page. Well, most of you guys are on the front page. Must be nice. Corey Cook 49th place.
Holding it down.
Jason 43rd. Randy 40th. Behind Kathleen Bemis in 34th. Zach McDonald 28th. Jess Lasasso 26th. Real Pat J. Keenan 23rd. Rob Weiss of Mississippi in 22nd, Corey. He's got 3,800 points. You got 35. So you're only a couple hundred points behind. So you're not too bad.
I'm just letting my lead get out there in the water a little bit before I start yanking it in.
That's fair. Kyle Hirsch, 17th. Brian Heller, 15th. Alex, 13th place.
Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Top 10, Evan Parsley. Nice. Jack Straw in 9th. 7291 in 8th. BTB in 7th. Mike Schwartz in 6th. Jamin Hume, 5th place. Top of the podcast.
I'm on mute. Woohoo.
Brandon Klein, B. Klein in 4th place. Mark Bryan in 3rd. Tucker Rules has dropped to 2nd behind Quit Looking at Me, Swan.
Where was your boy, did you say your boy, little Jerry Seinfeld?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, no, must got stuck somewhere.
Probably on the 3rd page. I really just briefly scanned over it. Unless they changed their name. And the funny thing is I watched that episode not too long ago with the cockfighting. Oh, there it is, 74th place. Okay. Little Jerry Seinfeld. Tamale! I'm sorry. All right. Anybody have anything else that they want to talk about?
Thatcher Flex is this Friday. What is the date? The 12th?
The 11th.
The 11th. And you guys playing it?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm playing with you, Corey.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. I did snipe your card.
I'm playing with Randy, too, I think.
Oh, damn it. I have not played it since it's been worked on. So I'm thinking I was trying to get a practice round there Wednesday or Thursday, but I don't know, this weather seems a little sussy.
Yeah. How about Wednesday?
And might actually have to be because that's the only nice day. So Wednesday after work, might see me there.
I haven't played it since the Helderberg Championship, and that was the only time I've ever played it. So
it's going to be a little different.
I think we'll make it work.
First tee time's at noon, right?
Yeah.
Just go up early Friday and practice.
The next event for SkipAce is not until the weekend of the 18th of April. The DGPT Grip DQ 43rd Kansas City Wide Open presented by Under Par. Is that the same as, let me check it. I might as well check it for the elimination. Yes, same. So nothing this week, the weekend after Kansas City Wide Open. All right. Anything else?
I think Jess is running the first Greenville thing Friday too. So if you're not playing the Thatcher Flex, swing by Greenville.
This Friday?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen any posts about it.
Oh yeah, there was she created an event for the first week, like a little bit in advance. I think I just noticed that. Yeah, that was this week, the first week.
Oh, okay, cool.
We talked about it a little bit, but Deep Pool Finals is Saturday. So fingers crossed we do well there.
Yeah, would you please?
Good luck.
I don't want to go to New Hampshire that much anymore, or Maine. I'm trying to take the long drive to Stony Kill on a day trip.
To be fair, the other two likely teams to move up would be Maple Hill and Oak Ridge, which are both not that far.
Yeah, Maple's the farthest out of anybody in Deep Pool that could move up.
How far is Stony Kill for you, Corey?
35 minutes.
Okay. Congratulations, Sam Richter and Jacob Johnson. They won dubs there last week, -10. But if there's nothing else, if anybody wants to do a quiz, if anybody's got to get going. Jason, I think, is already asleep, so I don't know if he can even respond at this point.
Yeah, I'm shot, man. Sorry. I haven't been focused, or I've been kind of distracted tonight.
Did you have anything other than you mentioned Jess's thing? Is there anything else you got going on?
No, that's that I can think of, no. But if I do think of something, I'll shoot you a message. Appreciate you having me on. And sweet up. I'll listen to this Friday and talk to you guys next week.
Awesome.
Jason.
Thanks. Kaitlyn, you got to get going?
I'm getting going.
All right. So, Alex, you won the Dark Horse picks last week, and I did not give you any kind of benefit for that. So, and also last week, you tied Evan for the overall lead. So you guys are captain.
All right.
You get first pick. Who do you want? Obviously, Evan's the other captain, so you can't have Evan.
Let's go with Pat.
No.
Let's run it back with Randy. Let's do that.
Hell yeah.
Evan, who you got?
I'm going to take Jaimen.
All right.
These are all picks that I would have. I'm not surprised by.
I'm surprised I was picked at all.
No.
You're like, and Jaimen, you can go to bed.
My mock draft went exactly like this, so I was prepared.
Corey, which team would you rather be on, Alex and Randy or Evan and Jaimen?
Okay, now this I did not see coming. This
I like the twist, though. I like it.
I want to be on Jaimen's team because I feel like we need to, as a group, get a win. But Evan would be the third on that one, right?
You'd be the third on either one.
But is Evan strong enough to carry us both? And I feel like we were in the situation before.
Evan has used a lot of my answers.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that this week.
You're catching on.
I'm not letting Jaimen get a win without me, and if we lose, then it's Evan's fault. I'm sticking to him.
All right, let's do it, man.
All right, Corey, Jaimen, and Evan against Randy and Alex.
I would just like, on Corey and I's behalf, to apologize to Evan in advance.
No, I got a good feeling about this team.
Me too.
I got a good feeling about Patty and John Tamburino, who shot a -6 at Wilcox Tuesday Dubs.
A shout
Great
out.
job.
Trying to just include stuff like that.
I like that.
I do like that a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a little bumper.
Very quickly, I don't know if you've seen this, Alex. The PDJs started a TD newsletter.
Oh, I did see that email come in. I haven't read it yet, though.
It's got one interesting feature in it where it posits an interesting rules scenario, and then later on in the newsletter gives you the answer to it. That would probably be something that would be very helpful for anybody listening who plays tournaments. If you ever want, we can go through one of those every now and then if you need to fill time.
I love that kind of stuff. I think that's a great idea.
The very first one I thought was already super helpful, and something that I think I've done wrong, and I'm sure a lot of other people have too. So just a thought. I just wanted to put that out there before I totally forgot.
No, it's great. All right, so Alex and Randy versus Evan, Jaimen, and Corey. Alex and Randy, we got 3 categories for disc or no disc. Same as usual, we're going to use 2. Whatever one doesn't get picked will go away. We have a new thing for tiebreakers, so no matter what, it won't be seen tonight. So category 1, category 2, or category 3, Alex and Randy.
What are you feeling lucky about, Randy?
Let's go with 1.
Let's do it.
All right, question 1, category 1, in court. What term is used to describe the information, including testimony and documents, that helps prove or disprove a case? In court, what term is used to describe the information, including testimony and documents, that helps prove or disprove a case?
It'll be evidence.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Let's go with it.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is the evidence a disc?
It could so easily be a dynamic disc.
I know. I haven't heard of it. It does sound like a dynamic disc, though.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a new one that's out recently, but I also haven't heard of it, so I don't know.
I feel like we should go yes.
Yeah, and my instinct
No
was
good
also
reason.
yes.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
All right. Going yes.
Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
Dynamic Discs, March 27th, 2015.
Oh, it's old.
Like, honestly, you had said like 2015 or whenever it came out, and my mind filled in 2025. So I was like, oh, it's really Randy goes, oh, it's really old. I'm like, wait, what?
Evan, Jamin, and Corey, Category 1, Category 2, or Category 3?
What do you think, guys? 2?
That sounds good to me.
Do you guys agree?
Yep.
Question 1, Category 2. What cartoon character debuted in 1930, the same year the object he shares a name with was discovered? What cartoon character debuted in 1930, the same year the object he shares a name with was discovered?
Oh, Pluto.
Ooh, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I like
1930. Yeah, I can see it.
Pluto. What was Pluto, though? Not the rock.
Oh, the dog.
It's Mickey Mouse's dog.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, now I remember. Yeah, Pluto.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Pluto a disc?
I think it's
Gotta
definitely
be.
possible. It also has like mythological connotations.
I do like it as a disc.
I do like it. It's also, I feel like it's the name of the first like Frisbee. They called it like a Pluto platter.
Ooh, I think that was in the Holy Shot documentary. I like yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
Although is that like flying pie plate PDGA proof? But I think probably historically as a reference, I think you're definitely onto something. I think yes.
We'll find out. Yeah. I say yes. I feel like it's part of a theme, blah, blah, blah.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
All right. Just to clarify, the Pluto platter, I reserve the right to use at a future time. For right now, we're going with the Pluto driver, Pacific Cycle, March 6th, 2006. I'm going to find a question where Pluto platter is the answer.
The only person that's going to help is Tim Goyette.
Mm-hmm.
I still remember you saying this.
Another thing my wife said a few weeks ago when Tim was on and we talked about a question, and my wife's like, he even knew it was the end of September. I'm like, yeah. Fucking guy.
He's Disc Golf Rain Man.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Shout out Tim Goyette, Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast superfan.
Exactly. Alex and Randy, it's tied at 2, Category 1 or Category 2?
All right, so we got evidence in 1 and we got Pluto in 2. You got a preference either way?
What do you think? Do you think 2 is Roman things or is it Disney characters? You want to find out?
Yeah, let's find out.
Let's go with 2.
All right. Question 2, Category 2. On October 4th, 1957, the Soviet Union launched what beach ball-sized satellite into orbit, kicking off the space race? On October 4th, 1957, the Soviet Union launched what beach ball-sized satellite into orbit, kicking off the space race?
Was that Sputnik?
Yep, Sputnik.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the Sputnik a disc?
I want to say I've seen this before.
Yeah, I'm going, it's like so specific. It's got to be a disc.
Yeah.
So,
I feel very good about saying yes.
All right, let's go yes.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's the S-Putt, Puttnik,
Nice.
Sputnik.
Whoa.
Sci-Fly Discs, March 24th, 2025. I don't know. It's the type of disc you build a category around. Maybe.
I like it.
Probably not. Evan, Jamin, and Corey, Category 1 or Category 2?
What do you think, Jamin?
I'm fine with either one.
What do you think, Evan?
What do you think, Corey?
I think, Evan, you're awfully quiet. Are you there?
Oh, I was sorry. Yep. My
Okay,
microphone
all right.
also has a mute.
Yeah.
There's a bright red light that I missed somehow.
Make sure we're going to lose you, too.
No, my response was I also agree with Jamin.
Okay, let's go with 1.
Okay.
Question 2, Category 1. What type of officer from the Old French for custody maintains order in a courtroom? What type of officer from the Old French for custody maintains order in a courtroom?
Bailiff?
That was my first thought.
That sounds French.
Oui, monsieur.
I can't really think of another court officer word that's...
Not one that maintains order. I think you nailed it.
Yeah, bailiff.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Is the bailiff a disc?
Just want to say, I've known all of these answers so far.
Killing it. Probably. I don't know. I don't know all the what are those dynamic? All the
Yeah. I could see it both ways. It's like not really a great disc name, but neither is the sheriff in that case, you know?
Sheriff is a little more badass than bailiff.
Yeah, that's fair.
And really, either I misspelled bailiff writing it down, or that's just a terrible looking word. Like, the more I look at it, the more I want to say
it's French. That's your issue.
no. Like, if this was written on a disc, I would be like, ew, dog toy. So yeah, I say no.
All right, you talked me into it.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
You are correct.
Nice.
But let's be honest, evidence?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Dumb name. The word looks better, though. It's more aesthetically pleasing with bailiff. There's too many, like...
2 F's at the end, yeah.
That's why they had to fire everybody. They're like, sorry, guys, we named a disc the evidence. Nobody bought it.
Oh,
All right. 2 rounds in, we're tied at 4. Alex and Randy, category 1 or category 2?
I think I feel pretty good about space things, and I think I feel relatively good about law things.
Let's stick with 2.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Question 3, category 2. The bony socket that surrounds the eye shares its name with what term related to the path of an object in space? The bony socket that surrounds the eye shares its name with what term related to the path of an object in space?
It's the orbital socket,
Yep.
right?
That it is.
You guys agree?
Yeah,
Yep.
Is the orbital a disc?
sure is. MVP driver, super understable.
Glad you're on my team.
What year?
2017.
You should have gone with the evidence. MVP Disc Sports, February 6, 2015.
15. Fair.
Yeah, but you were only off by 2. I was trying to make it more dramatic. Evan, Jaimen, and Corey, category 1 or category 2?
I don't know. I'm probably leaning a little towards 2.
Yeah, let's go 2.
All right.
Great.
All right. Question 4, category 2. In 1987, an exploding star in the Large Magellanic Cloud was the first of what in 400 years seen by the naked eye? In 1987, an exploding star in the Large Magellanic Cloud was the first of what in 400 years seen by the naked eye?
Is that a nova?
Supernova.
Supernova is what came to mind, yeah.
That was what I was thinking of, but couldn't think of because I was stuck on black hole, but I didn't like black hole. I was trying to think of the exploding star, which I feel like would be supernova, right?
Yeah, I mean, supernova or nova. I'm good with whichever one. I think supernova seems more likely to be seen.
That's where I don't... I don't know.
Right, it's, yeah.
And obviously, Nova being a disc makes you... I don't know. The answer to the trivia question feels like supernova, but...
If we say nova, would Pat ask us to be more specific?
That's the question.
Or vice versa, as Pat says.
Right. So so either or. I say supernova.
My favorite body swap movie of the 80s. Vice versa.
Yeah, supernova was my first instinct, so I think that's
I like
the answer, but
You guys agree? Supernova?
Mm-hmm.
Is the supernova a disc?
Gotta be. A star exploding is like way too metal to not be a disc name. Like, yeah, nature is metal.
Yeah, I feel like it's like one of those like 80s discs.
I like
Maybe
it.
not 80s, but like just an older version of a disc, you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's go yes.
Innova Champion Discs, Super Class and Vintage Class, August 10th, 1995.
Basically the 80s.
Yeah.
1900s.
20th century, yeah.
All right.
There's still a lot of people holding on to the 80s then.
Halfway through, we are tied at 6. Alex and Randy, category 1 or category 2. Unless somebody wants to use their Super Bowl points, I just realized.
Oh, gosh.
I still don't know how to spend those points.
I mean, it'd be now you decide if you use them or not.
Is it just a point?
It's
A
just
1 point, yes.
Oh, this is a game to use it on.
I have one.
I do too.
Now you have to decide whose or whom's.
I don't mind using it. I don't mind someone else using it. However you want to do it. But I think we probably should. Otherwise, I'm just going to forget about it. So
I'm so intimidated by Corey knowing all the answers that I'm going to use mine.
all right, let's do it.
All right, that's a bonus point. I'll put it off to the side. Evan, Jaimen, or Corey, do any of you guys have a bonus point to use?
It's a very good question.
I'm pretty sure that I don't.
I'm pretty sure you owe me one, Pat. You owe me that and a $20 bill.
Did you guys pick the correct Super Bowl winner?
I doubt it. Actually,
The Eagles?
Say go Birds right now.
damn. No, I have integrity, Randy, and I'm pretty sure I said I don't want the Chiefs to win, but I thought they're going to. But I don't remember.
We need Tim Goyette back on to tell us who everybody shows.
I will verify after. I know one of either Alex or Randy had one. I'm almost certain.
I am very confident that Randy had one, but if he didn't, I would use mine to fix the scoring anyway.
But as far as the other 3, I can't say for sure. All right, so you guys
You don't
are
need it.
up now 7-5, and you get to pick what category, 1 or 2.
I think we have 6.
Yeah,
Yeah, 7-6. You're absolutely right. It was tied. I just didn't see.
Unless
the extra
Randy's
slash.
bonus is taking a point away from us.
No, the truth is, I brought my slash a little farther to the right, so it's actually slashing through 5 things. So I just looked down briefly and You're absolutely right. So you're up 7-6, and category 1 or category 2?
Stick with 2.
Yeah, I think we stick with 2 at least one more round.
Yep.
All right. Question 5, category 2. Astronomers believe supernovas cause bursts of what type of rays among the most powerful events in the universe? Astronomers believe supernovas cause bursts of what type of rays among the most powerful events in the universe?
Gamma rays was the first thing that came to mind.
And cosmic rays is the first thing that came to my mind. I feel like
rays.
we've had a question in the past year or something where like it was something rays, and now I have no idea.
Yeah, is cosmic like the overarching term?
Yeah, I think it is, unfortunately. So if we're trying to be specific, was it alpha, beta, gamma? And like gamma is the most.
I mean, it made the Hulk. This seems pretty powerful to me.
Can we hear it one more time, Pat?
Astronomers believe supernovas cause bursts of what type of rays among the most powerful events in the universe?
Also, are we not tied 6-6?
No, I used a point for it.
He used his
Oh, yeah, okay.
Super Bowl bonus
I
point.
I forgot about that whole thing we just did. I'm like, wait a second, 7-6. How the hell that happened?
Yeah, I don't.
All right.
I don't know. I'm partial to gamma rays because that's the first thing that came to mind, but I could easily see it.
Cosmic is a weird disc name. Gamma is also not great.
So there's the Cosmic Open.
There
And I
is.
feel like if someone was, doing disc stuff, they wouldn't pick an existing disc name to be like their overarching thing. But who knows?
You may be overestimating disc golf marketing.
Also true.
I feel like Cosmic is a better disc name, which is the only reason why I want to go with it.
Well, you're going to throw a Cosmic?
Yeah, like the Cosmic versus the Gamma.
I feel like Gamma is more of a noun. MVP also
agree.
does Cosmic Neutron and Cosmic Electron as their plastic names.
This is even better because then it's a trick.
I don't know. I don't like it, but you seem more confident than I am.
I want to go with Cosmic.
All right, let's do it.
You guys agree?
Sure.
Evan, Jamin, and Corey.
No.
Astronomers believe supernovas cause bursts of what type of rays among the most powerful events in the universe? And shout out to Fletcher and 45100. Shout out -10 at Kisco Tuesday Dubs.
Whoop.
It's gamma rays, right?
That was my initial thought.
Yeah, and I love it because they said it. So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gamma rays.
You guys agree?
yes,
Is the gamma ray a disc?
Oh, the two-worder. Gamma ray.
with the Ray added on, I like it a lot more as a disc name.
And Randy, you were right initially when you said Cosmic was a question. Definitely in
Oh,
last year.
no. All right.
From episode 240, September 13th, 2024.
Question 1, category 1, doing physics experiments deep in the earth protects the results from being contaminated by what type of rays? From Greek for universe.
I do not know the Greek for universe. I know lots of different types of rays, but
Me too. I probably know too many types. But I'm thinking, is cosmos Greek? Would it be cosmic?
cosmic rays makes much more sense.
Because you do it down in there. The only ones that really go through are like neutrinos and stuff. I don't think cosmic rays would go through the Earth.
I think cosmic rays is... I really like that answer. I think that's right.
Okay.
Stingrays.
Going with Cosmic?
Cosmic.
Is the Cosmic a disc?
Is the power cosmic a disc?
Isn't that a plastic? It's like MVP?
Yeah, so MVP makes cosmic blank. That's their swirly plastic. So like cosmic neutron, cosmic electron, that sort of thing. It's an adjective, so it doesn't really make sense as a disc name. I'm happy saying no.
I could go either way, but the adjective thing does feel weird. Let's go now.
Sounds good.
Alpha Discs, February 14th, 2022, the Cosmic.
Ready.
I knew something.
I like it as a disc.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
You guys
Say
agree?
yes.
I think, yeah.
ABC Discs, April 9th, 2010.
Old
All
one.
right, we got another round of Randy starting as far away as possible for Team Challenge.
Hell yeah.
Are you sure you don't want to provisionally use your other point?
We can't at this point. Too late.
I think I even said that. Only one per thing, regardless who's on your team. And 2, they got to do it by the halfway point.
Okay, I got it. Learning the rules as we go.
So you guys are up by 1, and you've got category 1 or category 2.
Jamin, what do you think?
That was number 5 and 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I kind of want to go back over to 1 for a little bit.
All right, I'm with that.
All right, question 3, category 1. If the supply of what has been exhausted, a talesman, a bystander in the court, may be picked to be one. If the supply of what has been exhausted, a talesman, a bystander in the court, may be picked to be one.
I mean,
Like a juror?
That's what I was going to say.
Seems kind of
It's
dumb,
the supply of what? A bystander? Yeah, so it's a person.
Supply of jurors, a supply of...
Ooh, maybe this one is also bailiff.
Just get handed some handcuffs. And like,
Here you go, buddy. Yeah, I don't know. Juror is the first thing I thought of. If you guys are tossing around any other ideas, I'm happy to hear them.
What's the word for the person that's typing it all down?
Court reporter or
stenographer.
That's a sexy disc.
I don't like that. That's a really challenging job. Courtroom artist.
Ooh, yeah.
No, the only other thing I can think of is what's the head juror called?
Foreperson or foreman?
Oh, okay, yeah. I still like juror the most out of those.
Yeah.
All right. That was my first thought, so let's go with it.
You guys agree?
Yep.
Is the juror a disc?
I hope not.
I don't like it.
Oh, I feel like it is. I don't know why, but
The juror.
if the bailiff was a disc, I feel like the juror is going to be.
Bailiff
Wait, the bailiff wasn't a disc.
Wasn't.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Well, then there we go. Then I guess it's not.
By the transitive property.
Yeah, no.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
I only heard one person agreeing.
Yeah.
That's fine. Corey speaks for all of us.
You are correct. The juror is not, but the rural juror obviously is. All right. 9-6. 7. 9-7. Oh, no.
10, right?
10. Damn it. This
10.
one line. I got to fix it. Well, let me fix it. Okay. 10-6. Okay.
10-7.
7. Damn it. You know what?
Penalty point.
It's all
Put it-
because
put
I
it
put
on
the
the
bonus
end.
point to this. Yeah.
You don't calculate it until the end. You got to make sure we play the right number of players first.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So Alex and Randy, category 1 or category 2? You're down 10-7. That's right?
Yes. Let's go to 1, right, Randy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Question 4, category 1. Alec Baldwin's Rust manslaughter trial ended because the prosecution botched what process of showing evidence to the other side? Alec Baldwin's Rust manslaughter trial ended because the prosecution botched what process of showing evidence to the other side?
Discovery?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty confident that the process of showing evidence to the other side is discovery.
It sounds great.
Let's do it.
You guys agree?
Yes.
Is the discovery a disc?
I don't know. Maybe.
Man, I never would have got that. I've never even heard that before. It sounds like a fun one.
I don't
It's
know.
got disc in it.
It very... Ooh. Yeah. It like...
Disc ovary. Sorry.
it occurs to me that it's a better company name than disc name, but I can easily see it being a disc.
Oh, man, I want to go yes, but I don't know. My confidence
let's go yes, because I was also feeling yes. So let's just go yes.
Let's do it.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, no.
No.
Evan, Jamin, and Corey, category 1 or category 2?
If we do category 1, then they have a question 6 no matter what.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, cool.
I like that.
All right. Question 5, category 1. On New York's coat of arms, what figure holds a sword in one hand and scales in the other? On New York's coat of arms, what figure holds a sword in one hand and scales in the other?
Is that just liberty?
I was thinking it's like the embodiment of justice.
That makes a little...
Justice is blind and has it's like blindfolded sometimes maybe. And plus Liberty was on the coin thing last week.
Oh, I don't remember that. That sounds good. I was just saying Liberty because the Statue of Liberty is in New York.
Yeah,
I feel like that would tie in. And I know they're wearing robes, which means very little.
And I was thinking like a lion.
All right.
But justice might sound better.
Yeah.
I feel like the category is strongly courtroom themed.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. Justice is like a fancy term.
Yeah, but if you don't tell the truth, you're lying. No,
That's great.
Or he's just looking at his bag right
lion.
now.
Yeah. Yes. Following. So justice, though, right?
Is that a disc? I don't want to get ahead of us, but
It
feels like I've
100%
heard of it.
is.
Yeah, I've heard of it, I think.
The Justice, yeah. It's like the original really overstable mid-range.
I think
guys
it's
agree?
Justice. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
is the just a disc?
Seems like we think so.
Dynamic Disc, March 27th, 2015. Been a theme tonight, 2015. And Liberty is the other person, Jamin.
Oh, okay.
All right, Alex and Randy, it's 12-8, It's not over yet, but
Gotta get them all.
it's like Pokemons.
Pokemon time. Oh, you beat me.
Category 1 or Category 2? Final question in each category.
Doesn't really matter, but
Yeah, I mean, we got to get them both.
Yeah.
So
You got to go for the one that you...
which one?
More
Do
so-
you
which
think
one are we
they're
going to get?
less likely?
Yeah,
to know?
yeah.
So they're less likely to know the space one.
Yeah, because they're like not nerds, right?
I guess.
Yep. Sound
So
logic.
We should go 1 because let's do it. I was going 1.
All right. Question 6, Category 1. What film starred Gwyneth Paltrow as a mathematician whose recently deceased father leaves behind a huge discovery, or was it her? What 2005 film starred Gwyneth Paltrow as a mathematician whose recently deceased father leaves behind a huge discovery, or was it hers?
Randy, you're the movie person.
Yeah, no. I'm not even picturing the movie, which is a problem. 2005, I was playing a lot of World of Warcraft instead of watching movies that year.
For the Horde!
Exactly.
I was being 10 in 2005.
Not a lot of Gwyneth Paltrow movies when you're 10.
No, not so much.
Can you think of any court-themed movie titles?
What was the one that was like a couple weeks ago? Verdict or something like that?
I don't think we should go with that.
Are you sure we shouldn't go with that one? I don't know.
What's like the... Damn, no, it is Verdict. You got that in my head.
something, I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to go with just a movie title. I think Body of Evidence. Oh no, evidence was already in it. Ah.
What else could it be? Something about a detective, something truth-based, something truthy.
Truthy. Yes, it's EMAC Truth. That's the answer. We could go with Truth, though. That's fun, because I can't think of anything.
It seems to be some sort of mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's as good as I'm coming up with.
All right, let's go with Truth. I think it's better than A Few Good Men, so go with that. We'll go with Truth.
Let's go with truth.
Do you guys agree?
Sure.
What do you got, Evan, Jamin, and Corey?
Yeah.
What 2005 film starred Gwyneth Paltrow as a mathematician whose recently deceased father leaves behind a huge discovery, or was it hers?
No idea.
Inheritance.
Goop.
Was she in 7? Was that her head in the box at the end?
Oh, it was.
I like Goop.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the only Gwyneth Paltrow thing I even know.
I think that's great.
You guys agree? You going with Goop?
Yeah.
So I was looking for math and courtroom. We were looking for proof.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that movie, but
Damn, we probably didn't like that one.
Dynamic Discs, May 26, 2016. Question 6, they got to be tough. Let's see if Category 2's question is tough as well. For Evan, Jamin, and Corey, your victory lap. Once matter enters a black hole, it falls to the center and concentrates at an infinitely dense point called what? Once matter enters a black hole, it falls to the center and concentrates at an infinitely dense point called what?
Is it the event horizon?
heck yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You guys agree?
Mm-hmm.
What do you got, Alex and Randy?
It's a singularity.
Oh.
You guys agree, singularity?
Yeah, but Event Horizon was a sick movie.
I was going to say that as soon as he said Event Horizon, I'm like, I was waiting to reference the movie because it's so good.
Alex and Randy, is the singularity a disc?
Yes.
You sound so confident. Let's go yes.
I think it is, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Andromeda M31 discs, March 10th, 2025.
Almost.
All right, so 12 to 10. That bonus point was useful, but
It almost mattered.
It would have mattered if we could have gotten that last one.
If only we were better.
if only you had proof. You guys were talking about Mighty Gaw.
Signed up for it.
I would enjoy signing up for it. I do enjoy that course, and I would like to redeem myself for last year. But it is unfortunately in the middle of the Cosmic Open at Maple Hill, which is something I've been signed up for a while now. So
Yeah, I'm going to miss it this year, but this is like the only big tournament that Maple Hill does that anybody can really play. So I'm going to be doing this one this year. Hopefully it works out next year, but I'll make that decision then.
Shen Creek Dubs Season 2 Week 1, Joe Riley and Dave Hudson shot a -13 to win that. Mark Stryker won Disc Beat Club with a +3. Nathan Munster and John O'Brien shot a -9 at TGIF DR Dubs to win. And Benji Farrell and Joe Jaskolka shot a -7 at SPW Dubs League.
That was the Tough Shot Dubs, not to
What's
be
that mean?
confused with Worst Shot Dubs. So Tough Shot Dubs is that you have to take the worst of the two lies until you complete the hole. I guess in true worst shot, both partners have to make the putt for it to count. But I didn't go. I heard all this secondhand. So there were like 2 aces that night, and those both counted because they completed the hole. But in true worst shot, you would have to both throw.
Evan, you played Prospect Park Dubs tonight. How'd that go?
It was a lot of fun. The weather wasn't awesome, but it wasn't like terrible. And I got to play with Joe Jaskolka, and we played on a card with Kyle Moore and Joey Harrington. And Joe and I went 13 down, and that was the winning score tonight. And it was a lot of fun, and we both played really well.
Heck yeah. Jaimen, anything on your volunteer tournament?
I'm running work days this Saturday and Sunday, which will count towards that. Saturday is going to be at CTK and Sunday is going to be at Moreau, both 9 to noon. I just posted something up about that. Registration is ongoing. The discs have been shipped. Everything's shaping up pretty well. We're just hoping to get more players in there at this point.
Awesome. You got disc golf planned this weekend? To play, I mean, not to work on courses, I mean.
Not this weekend. I am getting in at least 1 or 2 rounds a week during the week. And then next week is spring break. So I've got a bunch of playing that I'm going to be doing then.
What's your go-to practice course?
Usually Moreau or Jenkinsville. Yep. They're both like 15 minutes away.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Corey, Alex, Randy, Jaimen, Evan, Jason, and the Clay Missioner, Kaitlyn Clay, for coming on. Any birthdays that we don't know about?
Gene Yurka's birthday was
on
the 5th.
Awesome.
My nephew Aiden turned 12 on the 3rd. Happy birthday, Aiden.
Happy birthday, Aiden.
Mark Hay on the 13th.
Well, thanks, everybody, and sweet up, Hudson.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, everybody.
I'm trying to get the boards organized. Round 1 was J Park versus CPS.
No, J Park versus Minekill.
J Park versus Minekill. Okay, so I have that one. And
Widowmakers versus
that
CPS.
leaves Widowmakers versus CPS, round 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I have that too. And then round 2 would have been J Park versus CPS.
J Park Wilcox.
No,
Yeah.
I'm still struggling.
J Park Wilcox. Well, there was no boards posted ever until after the fact, so you might
Yeah.
know.
I think I have 5 different boards.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
just trying to
I
figure out
have.
I think that's what we're supposed to have.
Yep. 2 for round 1 and 2, and then 1 for the second place match, round 3. Round 3.
Yeah. So I have J Park versus Minekill. I have Widowmakers versus CPS.
Mhm.
I have J Park versus CPS. I have J Park versus Widowmakers again.
The Widowmakers is the round 2 one, I
Widowmakers for
believe.
the first time.
So you
And then
Rosebuds and Whips.
versus Whips.
That one,
and-
if you, I think Randy posted the blank
that's the
board,
issue. Yeah,
but Jason posted on the comments the actual board. If I'm
that
unless
was
I'm
the issue. I had 6 tabs, and one of them was Minekill versus CPS twice.
Mhm.
So one
blank
was the
one, and
blank
then-
board, and
I
one
got
was
you,
the
yeah.
filled in board. All right, so there we go. I think I got everything.
Yeah, the boards were wonky this week. I mean, plus, like Kaitlyn said, they were all posted super late, but
Not a lot of good service. I bet
that's a good point. Yeah.
it's an excuse. I think service, at least on my phone.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't remember ever having issues with that, but hey, I wasn't there that day.
I was just saying that service is fine.
No one was trying to post the
Yeah,
boards,
no one was
so
No one was putting in the effort.
Should probably stop closing out all of my SkipAce tabs so I don't have to reopen them every time.
So am I the only one who wants to open a shipping store to cover my disc golf addiction?
it's a bold strategy.
Hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, like why not? That's brilliant. You got all that extra space. You know, I really wanted to find out, the shipping business, is it that keep you that much occupied? Like, I don't know.
This is like the most PG version of a mobster. Like, I should sell in a warehouse so I can sell frisbees.
Yes. I think because Pools Fest is so split up between different days and divisions, none of the disc golf scene pages are connected to the PDGA pages with results. So I have to manually look those up.
How much wood you got left?
I have quite a bit. I thought I was going to have a lot of wood left over for next season, but I've been trying to think about how much wood I actually go through, and I think I go through like three cords of wood a season, 3 or 4.
That's not too bad, right?
No, it's not too bad. I mean, I'm always curious to know like how much I would spend on just like oil if I did not use the wood stove, see if it's worth it, but I don't know. I don't want to find out.
It's just you who lives there, right?
Yeah.
So is it a lot of space? Like how far away does it have to reach?
The problem with my house is that the wood, it's a single floor, but like the wood stove is in the living room. It's on the opposite end of the house of the bedrooms. But at the same time, we want the bedrooms to be a little cooler anyways, because, you know, it could be 80 degrees in the living room where the wood stove is.
You want it to be warm enough to where a blanket wouldn't be too warm, I guess.
Yeah, so you box fans are a wood stove user's good friend. Unless you have like some type of ductwork in the house and you could like turn the circulation on. That usually works out pretty good. But or you pass out from the wood stove in the living room because it's so nice and toasty and you wake up with a sore back in the middle of the night. But those 4 hours was a good nap.